Welcome to AxieCon. It is so amazing to be here, and it's so amazing to see so many familiar faces here already. I'm Zyori. I am the program lead for esports and content creators. I have a pretty fun job at Axie Infinity, and moments like this, we really get to see the fruition of all of our hard work. I want to talk about some of the concepts that went into AxieCon and bringing this whole show to life. A lot of it really started at NFT NYC last year in 2021. Markets were a little different, energy was a little different, but it was really a landmark event for us. We had the opportunity to meet many of our community members and really sense the passion that existed in the space. We had a meetup that was community-led and had an amazing turnout. We had some amazing content that took place at that conference. And then we also had the Axie Rave, an amazing dance party in Brooklyn. And we got to see the full diversity of our audience. After that event, Jiho pulled me aside, and he said, Zyori, I think we need to start working on AxieCon yesterday. And if we don't start working on it now, it's never going to happen. And you have to remember, 10 months ago, we weren't sure if the world was going to be open. COVID still had a lot of things locked down. Many locations that we considered were just simply unavailable to do an event of this scale. But we had to commit, assume some risk, and just make the best of it. Luckily, our thesis was mostly correct. The world has mostly reopened, and here we are celebrating this amazing Axie event. Part of our thesis for real-life meetups is allowing our community to not only meet us, but meet each other. We've realized that engaging online can only get you so far, and when you remove that human element from communications, things change a little bit. And we've seen many anecdotal experiences where people that have gotten into huge arguments online have been able to shake it out, become friends in real life, and kind of talk out their differences. And those are moments that I look at and go, this is how we make progress. We have a lot of really complicated questions to answer in terms of building out this DAO, building out a governance structure, and I think we can only solve that by having these hard conversations honestly with each other in a respectful manner, and that's a big part of why we're here at AxieCon today. What drives Axie is user feedback. Please continue giving us your feedback. It's very, very helpful. I want to talk about Axie Infinity, though, for a moment as a universe. We often hear people talk about Axie Classic, Axie Origin as an amazing Web3 card game. I agree. Axie Origin is an amazing card game, but it's really the tip of the iceberg. Axie Infinity is a whole universe. It's a universe that's going to be driven mostly by user-generated content. There's going to be more Axie IP, and there's going to be more games that'll be on the Ronin network. User-generated content is really how we see ourselves scaling this thing. There are many members of the Builders program here at this event, some that couldn't make it, and there's going to be a lot more builders joining us in the future. This universe is a fundamental shift to the paradigm of how users get to engage with the environments they spend so much time. Gamers have huge passion, they have huge commitment, and it's about time that they get to own some of that commitment when they participate in these ecosystems. I think Axie has done a really good job proving that people are open to this change. We still have a lot of work to do, but our founders have had a hard path. It's been 4 years of working tirelessly to get Axie Infinity where it is. I've been with the team for 18 months, and the founders had to go through a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get us here. They were talking about NFTs before anybody really knew what NFTs were. They were talking about this vision at a time when very few people could really believe in it. I was one of those people. I met Alexander, one of the co-founders, in 2018 when I was trying to make a blockchain game myself. Got a taste of how hard that is. My developer quit about 3 days into the process because he had no idea how to build what we wanted to build. And when we saw Axie Infinity, we felt like, wow, somebody's already beat us. Somebody's already made an amazing IP and set this bedrock for a game that could take over the future. When I met Alex, he actually gave me a set of Axies, 2 sets of Axies. And at the time, I was very, very excited to try them, but also busy doing other things, and I never really got around to it. This is when Axie was an auto-battler. Times were so different. And now when I look at those Axies that are still in my wallet, I think, man, how things have changed. 4 years is a long time, but we've gone through 3 major iterations. LAN gameplay is now on the horizon, and things have grown considerably. I was taken aback that the founders were so generous, willing just to give me assets just to try the game, and how eager they were to connect. It's also sort of funny to remark that on that phone call, Alex said, you know, one day we might have esports for this game. I laughed. My ego was so big that I said, mobile esports. Don't insult my intelligence with that stuff, Alex. Of course, he was completely right. And my ego got knocked down a few pegs, and here we are. We proved the haters wrong. There is so much demand for Axie Infinity last year that it actually broke our servers. We had to scramble to refactor a lot of code and get it ready for enterprise, but it was a really affirming moment to know that we were bringing new users into the ecosystem. Axie proved that it's possible to gamify this experience, to incentivize users to go through all of these pain points, to set up a wallet, understand how the blockchain works, understand how to move money to exchanges and ultimately into their bank accounts. Axie has a lot of users that are not only new to Web3, they're new to financial technology, and some of them are brand new to esports. Axie has been doing great work in terms of moving new users into all of these ecosystems, and to me, that is the sign of a very strong foundation. I also want to talk about Ronin a little bit and how powerful it is for Axie Infinity to have its own scaling option. If you had told me we're going to make our own blockchain for this game in 2018, I would have said, you guys are crazy. Building a blockchain is ridiculously hard. And not only building it, but maintaining it. How do we ensure that this thing will be safe and secure and scale for the future? Ronin was not the first suggestion, right? We tried other networks, and they didn't work for us. We realized we needed to own our own destiny. And it did set back the roadmap a little bit. But now we have this foundation that will allow us to scale. It allows us to breed Axies, play Axie virtually for free, and we continue to iterate on that. App.axie was just released. More improvements to the marketplace are going to be coming, and rest assured, we will continue implementing that feedback you give us. Now let's talk about AxieCon a little bit and some of the stuff that we've got prepared today. I hope you're ready for a boatload of content, because it is coming. The big one today is the Founders Panel. That's what we're going to close with, and that's what we're building up to. We're going to have Trung, as well as Alexander and Jiho here on the stage. They're going to be talking about the roadmap and some big updates that are going to be coming along the way. Definitely want to be here for that one. It's huge. We've got a developer and governance stage over there on the other side of the venue. This is a spot where we're going to have a bit of an unconvention vibe. We're going to talk about governance, we're going to talk about the DAO, and we're going to engage in some very interesting conversations. It'll be a place where the developers can connect, talk about apps, and hopefully exchange some notes. All of that content is being recorded. It will not be live streamed, but some of it might get released in the future. We also have the largest esports tournament in Axie Infinity history happening in this venue. We have 2 tournaments going on, Axie Classic World Championships for $500,000, and the Origin Bring Your Own Device tournament for $400,000. There's also Axie Stadium, which is sort of an esports light activation where you'll be able to battle each other and then ultimately challenge some of our founders and senior staff starting tomorrow and the next day. This esports event is a big deal for us. At Axie Infinity, esports is more than just another marketing ploy or a way to engage our users. Our esports system is a key part of our DAO and delivering these tokens to the users that actually care about the ecosystem. AXS is a governance token. Ultimately, it will be used to govern this DAO and make huge decisions that affect the gameplay. How do we ensure that those tokens get distributed to people that really care about using those votes to make the ecosystem a better place? Part of that thesis is pro players. If you're willing to commit, practice, and compete at a professional level when it comes to esports, I reckon you probably care about this ecosystem a whole lot. So esports for us is really a funnel to distribute these tokens to those that deserve them most. And we're hoping that that will help insulate our DAO and maybe reduce some of the risk related to the complexities around decentralized governance. This is just the beginning for Axie Esports as well. We're executing a bottom-up strategy that is really rooted in amplifying the organic energy in the space. We've had 2 esports grants already, both of which have shown tremendous growth, both for players and the organizers that have been learning alongside of us. It's been incredible to see so many new users, both on the organizer side, on the fan side, and on the player side, participate for the first time. For Axie Classic, we have 14 players here that qualified through online matches. Many of these players just got their passports for the very first time. Not only have they never left their home country, they've never been to an esports tournament before. To me, this is foundational. We're not just bringing old users into Web3, but we're actually breaking new users into this ecosystem, as we talked about before. We've also got a manicure station. So if you want to glam up a little bit, please go check it out and get your nails done for all things Axie. So this first AxieCon really is a celebration. We've come a very long way, and we're so happy to have many of you here joining us. This is the culmination of much building, battling, breeding, and connecting. We couldn't be more excited to host all of you here in Barcelona, and let's have a great event.